You win on Wednesdays. This is Pastor Wil with You Win on Wednesdays, and I am hyped because God has brought us to the end of this season. 17 episodes. Can you believe it? Let me express my appreciation to all of you who have watched and you've shared this program with others. You've left me commentary. Thank you. I want to also give shout out to the man who stands behind the camera, Brother Kaheem Sturgis. This was all his brilliant idea. I want to say thank you to the Bible Days congregation for their unwavering support. This is our grand finale, and I want to continue my series on temptation. In fact, I want to call this particular lesson The Escape. Paul says in his first letter to the Corinthians, "But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will also make a way of escape." Paul is saying to the saints at Corinth that they must learn the lessons of the Old Testament if they're going to have a bright future. He was saying that the Israelites in the desert had to face a time of testing before they could go into the promised land. And that's my first point here, that you have to pass the test, the trial, the temptation if you're going to be promoted. That's right. You can't go to the 5th grade if you have not learned the lessons of the 3rd and 4th grade. When I was in elementary school, we used the term retained. That was not a good word. In fact, it meant to be held back because you could not read very well. You did not understand your mathematics. You didn't know your multiplication tables. And interestingly, the philosophers explore this same idea when they say that if we do not learn the lessons of history, we are bound to repeat them. In other words, you've got to pass the test if you're going to be promoted. I'm also moved by this because Paul seems to suggest that you are not the only one going through this trial, that others have faced this test and endured. What a powerful idea. And it ought to encourage your hearts knowing that someone else faced this and got through it. Jesus says in Matthew 25, in the parable of the talents, that he gave them out according to their abilities. Some 5, some 2, some 1. Paul seems to be saying the same thing when he says that you will not be tested beyond your abilities. He seems to suggest that one person has the capacity of 100, another the capacity of 50, and another the capacity of 1. The enemy, life, the adversary, brings trials, tests, temptations. For the man who has the capacity of 1, the devil brings them at 5, but the Lord breaks them down because he's faithful and he promised not to give you a trial beyond your ability. So he breaks it down to 3/4. The man who has 50, the enemy brings trials of 75, 80, 90, but God breaks them down to 35, 45, maybe even 49 3/4. The man who has the capacity of 100, he's like Job. Oh my God. And the enemy dumps everything. But the Lord does not allow it beyond his capability. I should also add that the man who has the capacity of 100 should not look with contempt upon the man who has the capacity of 1, because the struggle is the same. Oh my God, not only does he give us insight that others have faced the same trial and endured, but he says there is a way of escape. Oh my God, I feel something here, because I understand that when God framed the occasion for the trial, he also built into that frame a way of escape. I'm moved by that. I have a car outside. It has a trunk, and the trunk has the capability of carrying things. But at the same time that they built the trunk, they also built a red lever that provides a means of escape. So if I'm in that trunk, I have a way of escape. I don't want you to miss next season. I'm going to open next season talking about the means of escape.